It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Get that stuff out of here. It's Southwest Bias.
Hello and welcome into another edition of Southwest Bias, live from Studio K. You see it on the sign above me. Brought to you by our friends at Circle K. Become a member of the Inner Circle today by downloading the Circle K app. And there's nothing quite like a Sun season opener. It's hopium. It's at a premium. Seems like anything is possible. All my predictions are still correct, which won't last for long. And for me, growing up in the Valley since 35 years ago when I found basketball, this has been one of my favorite days every year. And it means something when Suns basketball is back. It means something to just feel like anything can happen. The desert is a harsh place. It's an unforgiving place, and especially in the summer when it's the most brutal time. We know it. We've lived through them. 120-degree heat. Can't step outside. You leave anything out there, it melts. It gets destroyed. It's brutal. And that's where this new Phoenix Suns squad was forged, right? In the heat of this past summer, in the heat of that hatred and that frustration and the disappointment and everything that we felt over the last 2 years. This desolate, hot, crappy place that we were for a while. And we spent time shipping the circus off to LA and to Houston in exchange for youth and optimism. And that optimism, that youth, to me, came in like the monsoon and kind of just changed everything. It surprisingly swept through and provided relief in that brutal, brutal time. And we know that the hard times will come back, just like when we have a monsoon storm roll in, we know that next day that it's going to be 115 again. And we also have to deal with that little bit of humidity that comes along with it. It's not perfect. It doesn't feel like everything has been solved, but there's a relief to it. That moment where we go, all right, I'll be okay, at least for the moment. And that's right now for me. I'm all in on that hopium. I'm doing lines of it off the table. I'm all in because we haven't seen anything yet. And that's the beautiful thing about opening day. And maybe it's lowered expectations that we have. Maybe it's a lack of stands in our mentions. Or maybe it's because it feels like this team actually gives a damn for the first time in years. I'm a believer that we here in the Valley are pretty simple. Work hard, go out there and show you care. Show you care as much as we do as fans. Show that you care and put everything into it like we have with being Suns fans. We've been around for so much crap, so much hope, so much disappointment. And it's not too much to ask to simply go out there and give a damn for us. I think this team is built more like us. Because Suns basketball is what matters the most to the Valley. And I want to know that the guys out there playing basketball and representing this city means the most to them. And right now it feels like that's what is going on here. And I think that's why I've bought into this team, is because it feels like they care to go out there and perform night in, night out. And I am a believer in that you can outwork people. You may not have the most talent. You may not have been born into the best situation compared to others. But you can outwork anyone. You can go out there and you can put that grit and determination and make it work. You can live through 120-degree heat and come out the other side. That's why I think this Suns team could be something more interesting than we've seen. They're not winning a title. They're not going to be a top 6 team in the West. But they're going to keep us interested. I think they're going to be in the play-in picture. And we've talked about it. And maybe that hopium goes away. Maybe they start 0-3 and all that goes out the window. But right now, I don't have to worry about that because today's my holiday. Until 7 p.m., excitement and hope reign supreme like it does every NBA opening day. You're 0-0. Anything's possible. Devin Booker could be an MVP candidate this year. Jalen Green could take that next step. Mark Williams could be healthy for the first time in his career and prove that he's a top 10 center in the league. Dillon Brooks could be a defensive player of the year. Come on, Malawach, Rasheer Fleming. They could wind up surprising everybody and playing major minutes in their rookie year and having a massive impact. Ryan Dunn could have found a three-pointer. Anything is possible right now. And I'll buy into that hopium at least until 7:15 when that ball tips down at the morgue. Because today, I'm not going to listen to the noise. I'm not going to listen to the national pundits saying they're a 22-win team. 26 is their... No. Go away. We can talk about that in a week, a month, 2 months. Today's about the excitement of what could be. The excitement of, could you be that 2013-14 Suns team that was supposed to win 19 and a half games and rattled off 48? Could you be like the bubble Suns who everybody thought were DOA and went out and rattled off 8 in a row and almost snuck their way into the playoffs? Anything is possible in this moment, and I love that about opening night. And I love that I can look at this Suns roster, and there is a multitude of possibilities of what could happen. That there's more than 3 guys I have hope for to have an impact this year. That there's a coach in Jordan Ott that I look at and I go, every night, that guy's probably smarter than the other guy on the other sideline. That I know I got a guy coaching this team that cares more about what he's putting on his clipboard than what he's putting in his cup. I am so damn excited, and I know I'll probably get hurt. But that's why fan is short for fanatic. That's why we year in and year out step up, turn on that game, go out to the arena, root and put on our purple and orange. Because basketball runs in our blood. Because we love this team, and day one, we don't know what's going to happen. We've seen predictions be wrong on all fronts. Good, bad, and ugly. So anything is possible right now. And that's why today is my favorite day of the year. It's why I love being a Suns fan, and why I hope you're going to be along for the ride as well. But maybe that is just my Southwest bias. We welcome in the mustache behind the Mac, Shane Diefenbach. Shane, are you feeling it for NBA opening day?
Yeah.
What is your, like, you strike me as Super Bowl is your holiday of sports.
Oh, I thought you were saying that the Suns were going to the Super Bowl.
No, that your holiday in sports
you must be really high.
Oh, yeah. That hopium's got kicking in.
No, it's the opening weekend of March Madness.
That makes sense.
By far. Well. Yeah, that's definitely my favorite. I'm feeling very hopeful. Mainly because, like, you're not rolling out a team of, like, you're not rolling out a project, a team of young guys who just, like, that's not what this team is. You're rolling out a team with one superstar, one guy that has the potential to be a superstar, and a proven ass Like Dillon Brooks is the X factor of this team because of how we've seen him impact the game on and off the court. And that's what I'm most excited for. But you're also rolling out a team of a couple projects. You also have that excitement of, wow, this team could be good in a couple years, but who knows what they could do right now? Who knows what Mark Williams could be right now? Kawan Malawash showed that, hey, he might not be as far along as people originally thought. You just hope that the guys that are in year 2 and year 3 aren't taking a step back.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that I think could really hold this team back, is if Ryan Dunn and Oso Ighodaro aren't really good this year.
I think a day like today for me too, every year, especially obviously when you're a kid, it's totally different. It's, oh my gosh, I get to watch basketball. Nothing else in the world matters. I get to wear my Charles Barkley, Steve Nash, Devin Booker, whoever the player was, jersey to school, and this is going to be amazing. But as I've gotten older and as I've been on this side of the fence, I think sometimes it's easy to forget that fandom part, that feeling. And a day like today, I always get it. Even when I worked for the team, I'd walk out and I'd sit in that arena bowl and it'd be silent, and I would just get so amped for the first day of the season, for that first game. Even in those dark days, even when there was very little hope to cling on to, it's days like today why I think we all are fans, because your imagination can run wild. There's something about, I haven't seen this in so long, and I get to have it back in my life. I get to go to my sports church 82 nights over the next 6 months. It's going to be something spectacular. And that's what gets me so much about this. The money doesn't matter. None of the contractual things, none of the business side things, either in this business or the team's business, matter. It's just about basketball. Yeah. And that's what I love about it.
You just hope that stays for a little longer than it has in the past.
Yeah. I mean,
this team is so mother effing due for a surprise. They have dragged the fans through crap and just the worst vibes for the past 2.5 years.
Yeah, the past 2.5 years have been the longest decade of my life.
Yeah.
And I think fans in general feel like that. I don't know that this particular feeling will stay around, but I hope the enjoyment and the hope with this group will. But this feeling is...
What's this feeling called?
I don't know. There's no drug like it. I'll tell you that.
I think it's whimsy.
Whimsy? Yeah, maybe. I mean, some people might call
whimsical.
Some people might call it insanity. I mean, I think there's certainly an argument for that as well.
I don't think that can be the case this year because it's not the same thing. It's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You're expecting the same thing, I guess. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's whimsy. Maybe it's...
I love Mario now, bros. Remember when we got excited about Yuta and Keita Bates-Diop? After that, we will always be excited.
I mean, that's true.
But why do you hate Kobe Bryant's game?
It's because it just reminds me too much of Devin Booker's, and
he's not very good.
I don't want anybody competing with my basketball god for our attention. So, Bias, I want to know why is today a good day for you as a sports fan? What is it about the opening of Suns season that strikes you in the feels so much? Why is it important for you as a Arizona sports fan and a Phoenix Suns fan in particular? What gets your juices going on this day? I also want you to hit that like button, all right? You're here. You might as well do it. Make sure to do that and become a supporter club member, just like Deborah in the chat is. You can drop special emojis. You're going to get a free super chat every month. It's all sorts of things, and you can help support the program by doing that. Click the join button. One other thing came up last night. It is Suns related. Matt Ishbia went on the Twitters and said, you know what, I'm choosing metaphorical violence, because The Ringer yesterday, and I believe it was Michael Pena, had a piece about his increasingly bold predictions when it comes to the Phoenix Suns in the NBA, more the NBA. And he predicted that the Suns would have the worst defense in the NBA, and Matt Ishbia did not take kindly to it, and I do not blame him, because that is a horse crap kind of prediction. I don't care how ridiculous you're trying to be or how bold, that one just does not carry weight. And Matt tweeted to the head of the Ringer at Bill Simmons, you and your crew have some good takes and some that are terrible. You're the betting guru, and even you know better than to actively take this bet. Tell you what, go put your money on this take. When you lose, I'll donate the same amount to charity of your choice. Different culture and different team and PHX this year. Let's go. Some people have taken umbrage with this. Some people do not like that the owner came out and said this. I love it because this is exactly the kind of attitude that they want the team to have. And he said it starts at the top. Well, this is standing up for your guys. This is saying, you know what? This is a ridiculous take. This is not in any way, shape, or form possible in Phoenix based on the moves you made. They were the 23rd best defense last year with nobody trying. They now have guys that are going to hustle night in, night out. Dillon Brooks, that is a true defender. There is just no way that they're going to be dead last in the NBA in defense. There's a better chance that I weigh 150 pounds by the end of the season and am modeling professionally rather than sitting behind this desk than the Phoenix Suns having the worst defense in the NBA. So I applaud an owner that's going to go out there and stand up for his team. I applaud an owner that said, I'm setting the tone at the top, and this is what we want. We want an attitude. We want a swagger about this team. We want a team that believes in itself and picks up its teammates when they're down or when somebody is going after them. I liked that move, and I believe in every word that was said. Don't bet against this Suns team, especially on the defensive side, because I think you're going to get burned if that's the case. On the other side of the break, we talked to one of my OGs, a man that will tell me it like it is and isn't afraid to insult me because he's got that attitude. It's John Voita right after this. I'm going to tell you, I go to Circle K every morning, and I didn't get a chance to today because we had an early morning meeting. So I had to rush in here after I dropped off my daughter from school. And I've been getting the coffee at Circle K. As a member of the Inner Circle, I'm getting a great deal. I get it for like $1. So I come in here, and our CEO was here for a meeting. He brought in coffee. He didn't make it, so it's not a knock on him, but it was nowhere near the level of Circle K's coffee and what I get for being an Inner Circle member. And I highly recommend you become an Inner Circle member today. Download that Circle K app, put in a little bit of information, and bam, you are part of the Inner Circle. You're going to save on gas, including tomorrow, which is a fuel day, 40 cents off per gallon for being an Inner Circle member from 6 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. That's 40 cents off per gallon just for being an Inner Circle member. Plus, you're going to get great deals on Polar Pop, 79 cents. Frosters, 99 cents. 3 for $5 Gatorade. Like I told you, you're going to be able to get deals on coffee as well. They just hit me up with that one randomly and said, you know what? You deserve some coffee on the cheap, and it made me a coffee guy. So join the Inner Circle for free today by downloading the Circle K app. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. Branded bills, you know I wear these daily because I love them. It's not just because they're a sponsor. I couldn't care. If I didn't like the product, I wouldn't be wearing it. And that's an easy decision to make. You can just sit here on the table. No, I wear my Branded bills daily because it is comfortable, it is stylish, and it is customizable. This one is just their Branded bills hat, but you see the customizable PHNX hat that we have on the desk. We have the one with the PHNX pennant as well. We use them for our custom headwear and apparel, and you should too. It's super easy, because they have partnerships across the valley with the teams, with companies here, and they're from the valley. You want to do business with them. They started in Mesa. They're located in Tempe now, and you want to be a part of the Branded Bills family. And right now, you can head to brandedbills.com and use the promo code BBPHNX for 15% off your first order. I'm going to welcome in a man that is not only a podcast host, the voice of the Suns Jam Session podcast. He's not only a writer at Bright Side of the Sun, but he's also my friend. Welcome in, Darth Voita, as you know him. John, how are you, my guy? We're having a little mic issue. We can't hear you right now, Voita. So why don't you hang up and call back in? Why don't we take a look at some of the bias comments in the chat as Voita recalls back in to the program. We asked why people are feeling. Dagoon says he's got dibs when as manager when I become a famous supermodel. So yeah, we got that going on. Free TV says make sure you keep doing pre and post game shows. You're an OG of the PHNX Suns, and your insight is needed. You're a good balance between SPG level headiness and Eric's emotion on his sleeve style. Guess what? You're stuck with me all season. I'll be there for pre and post games. We welcome Darth Voita back in. How are you? I still can't hear you. All right. Well, we will have you check back in a second. We'll keep looking at some of these comments, though. Vic23 says Suns started 8-1 last year, and we know where we ended up. One thing I've learned is it's going to take some time to find out what this team is about. Agree wholeheartedly. It will not be night one where we know for sure. It will take time. It will take effort from this group. We've got to see it in practice as well. Meatloaf says, if anything, popcorn's still $2 and we don't need 50 free trials to watch the Suns. That is true. They're live over the air. Explicit Intelligence says, I enjoy seeing KD lose last night so terribly. The Chris Webber timeout to game-winning foul was spectacular as well.
I'm just excited to keep watching Şengün ball.
Şengün was impressive last night. And shout out to the NBA returning to NBC.
Yeah, what did you think about it?
I loved it. I was a little disappointed in the intro because they had tweeted it out 2 hours before they showed it on television. I certainly think that they could have done a little bit more to make it feel a little bit more dramatic in that. But overall, I love the presentation. I feel like we're going to get some smart basketball talk from the guys at NBC and I think Amazon as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Dagoon said, Şengün is my cousin. So let's try to.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, my headset just isn't working right, and that's not my Southwest bias. Okay.
Now, look, man, I'm frustrated because I give you this glowing intro. I talk about how you're an exquisite podcaster, and then you can't get your audio right. I mean, and I didn't even mention.
I know I'm not at my home studio today, so I mean, I don't have like my ring light, my nice camera. I'm working off of AirPods and no sleep.
We won't tell anybody at the office that you're talking to us. Let's talk some Suns basketball. I was talking about how opening day is basically a holiday for me. How much I love basketball and that this hope springs eternal, as lame as it sounds on this day. But what does opening day for Suns mean to you as a basketball fan?
I mean, Espo, it's very similar, right? It's a time where everybody's still 0-0. Well, not everybody for the in the league right now, because opening night was last night, and for the first time in quite some time, we weren't a part of it. But you know what? It's that time of year where we still are allowed to hope, where we haven't really seen anything on footage that we can start to pick apart and be depressed about, because we know that's coming, right? We're Suns fans. We know how this story always ends. It never ends with Larry O'Brien going up and down 7th Street or Central Avenue. But at least for a few days, we can sit here and enjoy the newness and the freshness of what this season is. It's like getting a brand new pair of book ones or something. Until it's worn in, you're like, man, it's beautiful. There's no scuff marks on it. But as time progresses, we know what to expect from this team, and we know that we're entering this season with intrigue more than excitement, I would say, because you take a look at what this roster is, what Ishbia and Brian Gregory and Jordan Ott are bringing to this team. It is a freshness. It is a newness. And Espo, it's something that we have no idea what's actually going to look like when playing against NBA level competition night in and night out in a loaded Western Conference.
Isn't that half the excitement too, is we don't know? Like,
yes.
We assumed we knew over the last few years and we got disappointed. But right now we legitimately don't know what this team is and what they can become. And to me, that's half the excitement of being a sports fan.
But that's the fun part about this season, is last year, as you mentioned, we had so much expectations last year and the season prior to it, that anytime they did anything remotely mundane that looked successful, we couldn't applaud it because it was what was expected. And as the season progressed and that slow motion train wreck continued to unfold before our eyes, there was very little moments of joy and excitement that's what this season potentially could bring. Is even if we're losing games, and like Matt Ishbia said on media day, right? Success isn't going to be measured in wins and losses. Success is going to be measured in those moments where this team that has a very interesting mix of youth and development possibilities, some, a player in his prime, some veteran players, albeit the oldest guy, on the team is Royce O'Neal at 32. But there's going to be flashes of what the potential of those young players could be, and that's going to be exciting. There's going to be flashes of Devin Booker reclaiming his spot as an alpha on this team, and that's going to be exciting. There's going to be flashes of grit and hustle provided by, Dillon Brooks and potentially, Villain Jr., Colin Gillespie. So all those little ingredients equal a season where the expectations might not be nearly as high as they once were, but the excitement level and the joy of watching basketball is going to return. And you know as much as I do, Espo, covering this team night in and night out, the past couple seasons were joyless, man, and I'm just looking forward to enjoying basketball again, man.
Yeah, that, no random DMs, all those things I'm looking forward to as well. Let's shift our focus to tonight. Obviously, the Sacramento Kings coming into town, whatever that amalgamation of talent that they've put together. Sabonis is out, but what are you looking for on the Suns side tonight, outside of keys to victory, but just what you're hoping to see in game one?
I want to see what Mark Williams is, right? I mean, we know what he is from his time in Charlotte, albeit he only averaged playing 35 games over 3 seasons. So maybe the league doesn't know what Mark Williams is, but we haven't seen him in the purple and orange yet. And this is going to be our first introduction to him. And I like the fact that it's coming against a Sabonis-less Kings team because he is a quality player. He might not be a great defender, but he's somebody who can really bend the defense when he's on offense, and he's not going to be out there playing. So I think Drew Eubanks is going to end up starting for them. So, our old buddy Drew Eubanks. So we're really going to have an opportunity to see what Mark Williams is and how long he can go, because the organization has kind of treated him with those velvet hands. They don't want to break it, right? Which I don't know if that's the right philosophy, and maybe that's a conversation for another time. But all that being said, my primary thing I'm going to be watching tonight is, one, how everything that we've been sold since the last press conference that ended last season by Matt Ishbia, and since that first press conference with Brian Gregory about alignment and identity and culture, how it shows up on the court combined with how Mark Williams can perform, because quite frankly, preseason doesn't count and we haven't seen any of it come to fruition yet. So now is the time.
I need to see the defense tonight play like they did in preseason. I need to see those turnovers leading to easy buckets. I need to see the ability to stop teams. That we've talked about this, and you and I have, in terms of how much defense is effort. That you can overcome a lot of your individual flaws by having a lot of effort on defense as a team. If I walk away tonight with feeling like that they've done that to the highest level, I walk away feeling pretty good about where they are. I obviously want to walk away with the W, and there's a running joke on PHNX Suns right now that it's a Suns must win and SMW tonight. I want to win, but I need to see that at the bare minimum to feel all right about where they are.
But what happens if you see that? If you see the hustle, the grit, the attitude, the effort, all of those things on defense, and they still lose?
I'm okay with it because it's a building block, right? It's an identity. This team has gone 2.5 years without an identity. The only thing that you could count on was them disappointing you. You didn't know who they were on either end. In particular, last year, you really didn't. At least if I see that, I go, okay, that's the start of the identity. That's the start of who this team's going to be. Because we got to accept there's going to be ups and downs on this ride this year. That this is not just a straight up we're gonna win and win now. This is a ups and downs, and you're gonna look for progress, and that is a building block for me. Now, if you come out and you just look bad in all phases, yeah, I'm gonna freak out on you tomorrow. I'll be honest.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah. So when you look at outside of Devin Booker, which we all know he's the key to everything, but outside of Devin Booker, offensively, what is the key to this team actually finding itself?
we won't know yet because the answer to that question is Jalen Green, and he's not playing tonight. But I think that he is one of the most intriguing players that we've seen in Phoenix for quite some time because like we knew what Kevin Durant was, and he delivered on what he was relative to his total talent. Uh, Bradley Beal was never really intriguing. We knew what he was, and he delivered on what he was. Somebody who spent a lot of time on the sidelines and didn't necessarily contribute as consistently as we thought he would. But Jalen Green has that rare mix of athleticism, of rim pressure, and of youth that is ultimately going to determine not just what the Phoenix Suns do this season, but what they're going to do the next couple of seasons. He's under contract for the next 3 years, and they need to know what he is and what to do with him. Because if he's somebody who can take that next step, Espo, and he becomes that guy offensively next to Devin Booker who can complement him and also, expand his shooting range a little bit and be a lot more efficient, it makes the Suns or puts the Suns in a position to make some really unique moves next offseason. If he's not that guy, they're going to have to make different moves. So I think that as I look at this season in its totality, I'm unbelievably interested in who and what Jalen Green becomes. Because if he can't become a more efficient scorer, if he can't hit the three ball, if he can't hit the mid range, if all he's really good at is putting pressure on the rim, it's going to hurt this overall Suns team from a scoring standpoint because we don't have a lot of players who can generate their own shot. It's Devin Booker and kind of everybody else. Grayson Allen to a certain extent, but like even the fact that I have to say Grayson Allen showcases the weakness that the Suns have. It's one of the issues I have with this team, and I'm going to be locked in to see is how are they scoring their points? Is it going to be something that becomes like this beautiful orchestra of basketball because of the ball movement, kind of like what we saw in the preseason? Or are they going to get jammed up in the last 5 minutes of close games because they don't have enough scoring options? Jalen Green can be that secondary scoring option. The Suns need him to be that second scoring option. Time will tell if he can actually live up to what he's being ultimately compensated to do.
I agree that Jalen Green's scoring is going to be key, but I think you mentioned the thing that I'm more interested in is how can Jordan Ott's system make up for some of those other deficiencies? How can his system, and supposedly he's a basketball genius from everything we've heard, how does his system put guys in positions to succeed where they best succeed? That's probably the linchpin for me, because you could have Devin Booker and Jalen Green score all you want and still lose basketball games if you haven't figured out a way to at least in small doses get the other guys involved offensively and find success there. So for me, I got to see that, and I got to see it early as well. I know it's not going to be perfect, it's not going to be beautiful, but I got to see the tenets of that and how they're finding ways to alleviate some of the pressure on Devin Booker and put guys in a position to succeed. What are your thoughts on tonight's game? We'll end it here. Do you see this as a path to victory that's pretty easy? What are you looking at when it comes to this Kings matchup?
Well, I think that we both know that there's no path to any easy wins in the NBA. It's just the way it is. Games are determined by one or two possessions. And I think that that's the key to the game. And it's actually something I'm going to be tracking on brightsideofthesun.com throughout the entire season is how the Suns are doing relative to possessions. Because I think that if the Suns can win the possession battle tonight, and that kind of plays into what you're saying, right, Espo? If this team is hustling, if this team is creating turnovers, if they're being disruptive, then they are putting themselves in a position to have more possessions, therefore more opportunities to score points. It's something that the team wasn't very good at the past couple seasons. It's something that Jordan Ott is really kind of zoned in on, and that's something that he wants to increase with this team. And so I think that it's not going to be an easy path to victory. I do think that this team wins tonight. I do. I think that there's a cohesiveness that we've already seen early with them during preseason. The fact that they were all in the gym 2 months prior, working out together, developing that chemistry, and luckily we're starting the season against the Kings, a team that was below us in the standings next year. And even though, Vegas has them above us in the standings this upcoming year, I think that given the fact that both Keegan Murray and Domantas Sabonis are both going to be out, I think that the Suns walk away with a victory and more possessions than the Kings, because that's the key.
I agree, and I think they'll outshoot him in terms of the number of three-pointers as well tonight. He is John Voita. You can follow him at Darth Voita on social. You can read everything he does at Bright Side of the Sun, and then you can listen to his post-game show after you listen to me. It's Suns Jam Session that comes up right after we end is when they start, if you're wondering. or right at the same time. Thank you, Voita. I always appreciate your time.
Love talking to you, Espo, man. Go Suns. It's a great day. Suns Day is a great day, man. I'm so stoked for the season.
Agreed. Big thanks to Voita for joining us. I also want to say, hey, this is a day that I'm always thinking about my old friend Dave King, and I want to give him a shout out up there. Today is tough because it was opening night 2 years ago that he told me he was struggling with cancer and likely wasn't gonna live on, but his spirit lives on in everything that we do. Myself, Voita, all the Phoenix Suns community, and also out there at games. So big shout out to the pod father, Dave King. May he rest in peace. That is another edition of Southwest Bias in the books. A big thanks to Voita for joining me. A big thanks to the mustache behind the Mac, Shane Diefenbach, for hitting all the buttons on the other side, making me look passable on the program. You can follow him at Shane Dief. You can follow the program at PHNX_sports. You can follow me at Espo. And remember, until the game's over, we're undefeated. Ahoy, hoy!
We all silly like the mayor.